Now, if I were to tell you that far too many schools in South Africa are facing a sanitation crisis, you may not quite grasp the scale of the matter. But the stats are alarming. Now, since 2017, over 3,800 primary schools in the country do not have clean toilets. And it is posing a massive hygiene and safety issue to our youngest generation. But thankfully, the team at Domestos are using their power and brand to clean up this issue and give our learners access to clean toilets so that they can focus on what matters most, and that being education. So here to tell us more about the incredible work that has been done so far in the space is Mandisa Mabenenge and Masechaba Sekitla Kawula from the Domestos team at Unilever. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing?
We're good, Rael. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
It's good to have the voices of the team here and also the voice of the brand. But Domestos has been doing some incredible stuff. I mean, fighting against the war of sanitation since 2010. Now, what exactly has the brand been involved in terms of all this work over the years, and how have they been doing it?
Sure. I mean, just going back or down memory lane, rather, I think we've obviously been hearing over the past few weeks around what the sanitation crisis entails, the psychological impacts, just the health risks that are actually posed towards school-going children. And it's a really, really sad situation. And I think the biggest challenge that is there for us has been to really understand and see how is it that you can actually engage people, right, on an act that's so private. A couple of years back, it was actually in 2015, we did something quite bold in the streets of Johannesburg, where we actually went and we put up a sign where we asked people to actually donate their pee. Now,
donate their pee?
Donate their pee.
I heard that correctly. Okay,
correct.
Okay. I'm with
and I think that's the exact reaction that they actually had when they passed by and they were like, donate my pee. What we were trying to land at that time, right, is to just illustrate the magnitude of what the problem is, right? And a lot of people, I remember one consumer actually saying, well, donate something, sign me up, I'll go and donate. And it just goes to show how much people are willing to actually get involved. And in that platform, we actually used it to then just educate them around the crisis and how big it is. You can't relate to the issue if it's something that isn't your own lived experience, right? Unless you're in that situation yourself and you have to go and use that toilet that's broken, the water isn't working, then you don't really understand the scale of the problem. And in 2017, we actually challenged a couple of celebrities and said, would you go here? And we took them to one of the toilets in these schools and we said, use the toilet, tell us and share what your experience is with us. And it was actually quite a sad reality when they got there and they realized, oh my goodness, this is a really, like, I can't use this. It's just not a conducive environment for me to be able to relieve myself. But I think the turning point primarily was when we ran a program on World Toilet Day in 2018 called the Flush Forum. The Flush Forum was a forum where we called corporates, government, and just citizens to come sit down, so public-private partnerships, in order for us to discuss the situation, in order for us to actually map out how can we come together in order for us to be able to provide a solution. And actually consumers even came on board then and they donated money towards actually building a toilet in a school in Zolo in the Eastern Cape where they had pit latrines. 2 for boys, 2 for girls, 1 for teachers, in a school that had over 200 learners. And there were pit latrines, you know, the danger of it all. And with the money that the consumers actually donated towards that cause, we managed to build them new toilets that were suitable for their situation in the Eastern Cape. So I think for us, it's really been a long journey, but it's been one that's about getting sustainable change, long-term sustainable change out there.
Honestly, this just sounds incredible to hear how important it is in terms of the work that you're doing, and also just to make the conversation something that's important and something that we just speak about and more comfortable with. But Masechaba, maybe I can ask you this. Obviously, you did mention World Toilet Day coming up, and that's taking place on the 19th of November, right? So how exactly is Domestos being true to this purpose, and also maybe looking at how are they providing long-term solutions to execute on this? You mentioned some incredible stuff already, but I'm sure you can add more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Domestos has been on this journey for quite some time now in order to create opportunities for sustainable solutions in this space. And in fact, since 2010, we've managed to impact over 28 million people across the globe with improved access to sanitation. And when you think about the context of South Africa and how we've contributed towards this ambition, it was to focus our efforts in school sanitation. And I think it's important to establish and understand why school sanitation is so important and improving access to school sanitation. I think we've all been in that position where we've desperately needed to use the bathroom, but we couldn't access it right away. And if you think about that feeling, it's uncomfortable. And you can't think of anything else but the fact that I need to use the bathroom. And the sad reality is, how can you expect learners to learn when they feel this way? So to further demonstrate our commitment to this holistic approach to sanitation solutions, when the SAFE initiative was launched by President Cyril Ramaphosa, it was an opportunity for us to build an infrastructure pillar as part of our sustainable solution. So not only did we continue to refurbish toilets within schools, but we also supported the mandate to eradicate pit latrines within the school environment. And we joined forces. It was important for us to join forces and have a collaborative effort and approach with public and private sectors to ensure that we are addressing solutions and coming up with solutions to address this problem and build infrastructure according to the needs analysis of the certain schools that we were prioritizing. And I think, in essence, the Domestos purpose and the investment into the purpose is really surrounded around the three key pillars. The first is the behavior change for learners at a young age. The second is maintenance, to ensure that we're upskilling the school cleaners. And then the third is the infrastructure and building the infrastructure within schools to ensure that, they have access to toilets and clean toilets in schools.
This is truly incredible work. Now listen up, Mzansi, we have a responsibility to help our youth. And it's as easy as choosing Domestos when you go shopping. Now, R1 from every bottle of Domestos sold from November this year to March 2022 will go towards safer toilets for 1 million learners.